So if you're a teacher and you're interested in taking your standard curriculum and injecting it with some kind of day-to-day excitement, what was it like to live in this period? This is a unbelievably powerful way to bring those documents right to your classroom.
And it brings a humanity to the past and gives you actual people to connect with, and individuals to evaluate. And I think that the other thing that the teaching modules do really well is put the students in the position of historian, detective, and asks them to discover and inquire and learn. And that's the way the learning comes from, is it's not being handed down, but rather they're being encouraged to dig in.
Particularly in the Southwest and the Midwest, the War Office commissions agents who go and speak on behalf of the federal government to talk to various representatives of indigenous groups there, and often engaging in a kind of negotiation about how can different groups live side by side without overt conflict. What are different interests that are being represented? And as I dug further into those documents, I was repeatedly taken with how complicated those relationships were. So they really ran the gamut. There are some in which, maybe not surprisingly, the agents of the U.S. government, the white men who have gone down, are kind of trying to take a very strong line. You're going to do these things, and if you don't, the full power of the federal government is going to come down on you. But in a lot of cases, the negotiation is much more complicated. The agents, the people who are commissioned by the War Department, understand that the federal government has a weak position in many ways. They're creating alliances with indigenous groups. There's some interesting documents where the white agent reporting back to the War Department says the problem in this area is the white settlers. Right? The white settlers are violating the terms of this arranged deal, and it's going to go very badly if they keep doing that. So it's not a simple kind of binary relationship. It's a lot more complicated. For members of the general public who are interested in the founding of the country, the War of Independence, and the years after the Constitutional Convention, this is an unmatched set of documents that until very recently had been completely closed off to scholars. So if you want to get deep into the primary sources and see what the War Department was receiving and sending and thinking about on a day-to-day basis without having to go through a historian, if you want to go straight to the sources themselves, this is an unbelievably powerful tool that comes, right to your home.
We launched a community transcription project where anyone can come in and sign up to help transcribe these documents. When I was a GRA, graduate research assistant, I was adding in, these are the places mentioned, this is who it's from, this is who it's to, but it's a very bare bones a bit of information to make it a little more discoverable when you go in and you search. But having these full text transcriptions that community members sign up to do means that you can go into the Papers of the War Department website and search for vinegar or chocolate or shoes and get all of the mentions of that, not just what someone has noted in the details, the metadata about the letter. It really is about the relationship between the people and the federal government at the very earliest stages of this nation, and when we were still figuring out what this government was going to be. And if you dig into that, it forces you to rethink what you think, or it doesn't force you, but it can give you new insights into how you think about that relationship and how ideas of that relationship have changed over time.
So first of all, not just the origins of what is now the most powerful military on the planet, can trace a very straight line all the way back to the War Office. Also, the War Office, as I said a moment ago, is the federal government during this period. It spends the money, it has all the contact with the people. So if you really want to understand the federal government in the 21st century, this is the embryo from which it grows.
Because it does contain so many insights into how people on the ground reacted to the early republic coming into existence, how they negotiated things like relations with Native Americans and the dysfunction of the Articles of Confederation, the creation of the Constitution. It's a really useful perspective that you don't necessarily get from more conventional sources.